Yahoo! Welcome, my beautiful brothers and sisters, to the Aquarian Adepts, my platform to become your spiritual server. And welcome, Scorpio Sun, Scorpio Moon, and Scorpio Rising, or anybody who just wants to chill with the Scorpio tribe, to your first half of June report of 2018. Thank you so much for joining me, and we are going to dive into a bit of the astrology, into some of those cards. I had the Story Arc Tarot card spread for you, and yes, it's going to be definitely an interesting first half of the month. I think it's going to be a rather fast first part of the month, just because we have a lot of interesting transits that are happening right now, a lot of fast energy. So definitely going to be fast transformations and just kind of like moving on a dime and just like going from one day to the next. Definitely going to be very interesting. So let's talk about it, shall we? We have Uranus shifting to the first degree of Taurus, your opposite sign. This for you is in the 7th house. The reason why I'm talking about this is because Uranus has been at that 0 degree mark for about 20 to 21 days since May 15th. And now that it is shifting into this new spot, sorry, I got a little distracted there, but I'm okay. Sorry, just like channeling a little bit of information. And now I got chills, so, but it's alright. Anyways, definitely got some interesting vibes going on here. I think it's also because of the cards that I drew, and I am a Scorpio, so obviously I'm going to be rather tapped in, turned on into this reading. But like I said, it's been at the 0 degree mark for about 20 to 21 days. So these outer planets, they move a little bit slower, right? So with Uranus shifting to the first degree of Taurus, we're going to feel like this spark, this dynamite, this boom, and this technically already happened at the time of me recording this. I'm recording this on June 4th, and naturally that's when this happened. So it might be a little subtle, but you're definitely going to feel it. So it might even come kind of just like randomly out of nowhere, right? For you, like I said, this is the 7th house. This has to do with relationships. This has to do with potential romantic partnerships, marriages, people in many ways. So you're going to be feeling this shift when it comes to all your relationships, when it comes to your communication within these relationships. It's definitely going to be a time where really you're going to see if these relationships can stand a test in time and they kind of hold up to the future that you have planned. You're going to be really start to considering, can you see these relationships in your future? Can you see these people in your future? Are they kind of along the same path as you? We all have different paths and different journeys, but you're going to kind of see, like, are they kind of going in the same direction as you? That's really what you're going to start to be thinking more about with this Uranus shift to the first degree of Taurus. We also have Mercury, the planet of the mind and communication, shifting into Cancer. And this for you is your 9th house, naturally ruled by Sagittarius, that has to do with travel, exotic places, higher education, knowledge, wisdom, in many ways your philosophy. So with Mercury shifting into Cancer, this is definitely going to be a time where you potentially can get really emotionally caught up in your belief system and even become a little reactive. Because Mercury is shifting into Cancer, first of all, we're all going to be speaking from our feelings. Like, this is a time when Mercury's in Cancer, we all are speaking like our feelings. Like, we're like, bleh. Like, that's what it's going to be about. And Scorpio, you already are a rather emotional sign, but you sometimes like to keep your feelings a bit hidden. You don't like to kind of show everyone all that stuff, because why? Well, you're Scorpio. You feel a lot of dark stuff, and you're supposed to. It's okay. Someone has to freaking work through the dark stuff and transmute that energy, and that's what you do, Scorpio. So Mercury shifting into Cancer, this is definitely going to be a time where your belief system might be triggered by what other people say. Your emotions might be triggered by what other people say, well, like their philosophies, their ideas, and about life and stuff. It's going to be a time where really you are even going to begin to reconsider your own beliefs. Where do you have any self-limiting beliefs? Where do you have some doubts when it comes to your education, the way that you see the world? But this is definitely going to be a time where you're going to really start to consider more about your beliefs and think about it more, and how you're going to be really kind of tapped into everyone else's beliefs as well, from an emotional standpoint too. And since you are naturally a water sign, you're really going to be really typed into intuitively and psychically to people's belief systems. We have Venus on the 13th shifting into Leo. For you, this is the 10th house. And this is really cool because this is talking about your career and legacy. And this is really speaking to you're going to really start to open up and receive your career and legacy more around this time. And it's like, if you really are getting into your heart space, if you're really expressing from your heart, passionate, your joy, your inner child, if you love what you do, you're going to start to see your career and your path begin to take off. You're going to begin to see it moving in a more positive direction. You're going to see it begin to escalate and to ascend this mountain. When Venus shifts into Leo, it's going to give you this bit of power within the workplace. This could be a great time where you might receive a promotion at work during this time. You might start your own business around something that you love. You're going to start to become more open to these ideas or to these experiences happening when Venus shifts into Leo. On the same day, on the 13th, we actually have the new moon in Gemini. For you, this is the 8th house, so you naturally rule this house. So there's definitely going to be a transformation and revitalization within communication, and you're going to be planting this seed when it comes to communication. And when it comes to, Scorpio rules the shared resources, so there's really going to be this transformation for you when it comes to, I almost like to say that this new moon in Gemini is definitely going to be a part of you that is dying, but then there's a part of you that's being reborn from the ashes. And this literally is your energy. This is the Phoenix rising. This new moon in Gemini, in many ways, can be even a new thought process, where an old thought process that doesn't really work, it doesn't suit you anymore, will die on this day, and a new one will take its place. And it's just like, this is really going to help promote you pushing forward and promote you ascending this mountain, because like I said, with Venus shifting into Leo on the same day, your 10th house, you really are going to be kind of goal oriented, and you're not really going to be able to achieve your goals, to achieve your dreams, to manifest these desires if your thinking process is off, if it's not working, if it's not really in line with your heart, if it's overly negative, Scorpio, if you're super in the dark, if you're super in the shower, super in the dark hole, if you're like that, this new moon in Gemini is going to be no, we got to transform this, we got to transform the mind, we got to transform communication, because we're trying to go in this positive direction, we're trying to escalate and ascend this mountain. Scorpios, with Jupiter in your sign, it's been a wild ride, because of course Jupiter has been retrograde lately, and it's really been you having to learn how to expand in many ways your comfort zone, so you can actually go out and really manifest the life that you want, manifest your desires. And Jupiter has really been giving you kind of this a boost of fortune, but it's also coming, since it's Scorpio, it's coming in a way where it's so deep only a Scorpio really can understand. It's happening for everyone because we all have Scorpio energy, but for you it's so deep, this transformation. It's you're really going to notice it when Jupiter goes into Sagittarius later this year. Like I said, that's going to be your 2nd house, so that's when you're really going to start to notice it. But this new moon is really going to be beginning to set the seeds for when Jupiter goes into that spot. Because you got to think Sagittarius is the opposite of Gemini. So this new moon is the way that you really get to that world, the way that you really manifest that is by establishing this new thought process that is more conducive for that reality that you are wanting to bring out, right? Now for the cards, for the theme, we actually have cleansing waters, which is purification activates vibrant life force. You are definitely going to be going through a time where you are cleansing. This first half of June is really going to be a time of healing for you. We're coming off this grand water trine. We're still technically kind of in it. Venus is ahead of Jupiter and Neptune right now. But these cleansing waters is really going to allow you to kind of heal these old wounds that have really held you back. And a lot of these wounds are just really, they're past relationships that didn't work out. Like I said, this in many ways can be speaking to Uranus, shifting to the 1st degree of Taurus, the 7th house. The Uranus focuses on the future, but at the same time, this can be even you looking at your past in a more innovative way. Looking at past relationships that might have failed in a way it's if it wasn't for this, I would not be where I am right now. you know. So you're even going to begin to heal those relationships, the ones that that you are not in anymore, be a romantic, friend, or whatever. These cleansing waters, this theme is really beautiful because it's going to bring about this purification that you really have been needing, Scorpio, because it's been rather tough. We had that really intense full moon in your sign not too long ago. Then we had that new moon following. We had that new moon in Taurus following, which of course was opposing you. Then we had Uranus shifting into that spot. You've been going through a lot of really interesting transits and a lot of like potent energy. So you're having to kind of like now clear away a lot of this stuff and clear away a lot of this karma, so it frees you up so you can really express, so you can really be passionate, so you can really bring forth that strength. Because like I said, Scorpio, you really are trying to do something really profound this year, especially by the end of this year and coming into next year. You're really trying to do something really profound. This first half of June is really going to be a time of great cleansing, and it's going to really bring that vibrant life force, really going to really activate that energy within you. We have the Knight of Cups as the exposition of the story, and this is you. I mean, this can be a Cancer, this could be a Pisces, but this is you. And I feel like the Knight of Cups is like you, it's just a character going for like the Holy Grail. And I think what this is that emotionally, you're going to be kind of going for the Holy Grail in your life, whether it's relationship, whether it's a job, career, something. I mean, some manifestation, you're going to be kind of going for it. It's really interesting though. We actually have your card. We have the Death card appearing as the inciting action. The inciting action is something that's like, bam, that's kind of where the story starts. It's like, you know, the exposition is like the setting, they introduce a few of the characters, and then the inciting action is like something happens, bam, and then that's really where the story begins. The story begins her first half of June with the death and rebirth. This is the Phoenix rising. So it's like, you're going to be this is interesting because I do feel the need to say this. If you are in a relationship, this could be the end of a relationship. Or this can be the end of a cycle within that relationship. Or if you are, single, this could be the end of you being single. You could definitely find yourself partnered up with someone. It works both ways. But it's really going to be also based off of the healing that you're going through and kind of even where you're aiming for with the Knight of Cups. And it's also determined upon like whether or not you see these people in the future with you together. But the Death card here is interesting because it's really going to bring about, like I said, this death and rebirth that you are really going to feel. For you, this is the inciting action. This is really you. You're going to really feel this, especially, like I said, with that new moon in Gemini in your 8th house. I almost really have to say that this is probably the death of an old thought pattern, an old communication that doesn't serve you anymore. And now you have to adopt something new. We actually have for the rising action, the Wheel of Fortune. So this is incredible because as soon as you make that release, you come into fortune, you come into abundance. The Wheel of Fortune is great because it's really speaking of you tapping into your infinity, you tapping into your abundant manifestation powers, you tapping into your power, you tapping into Jupiter. The fact that Jupiter is in your sign is amazing. Even though it's retrograde, it's really going to be like, even though it's retrograde and we are still like in this review period, you really are going to begin to start to see just how fortunate you are. I think really that's what this is. The Death card, even before proceeding, could be the death of anxieties or doubts or fears that don't really serve you anymore. And the Wheel of Fortune appearing afterwards is this confirmation from the universe that you are far more fortunate and you are really being set up right now to really push forward. But you will look at your life and be like, wow, I am good. I am good. I am moving forward. Things are really positive. I am powerful. I can move forward. I am abundant. I am amazing. I am beautiful. That's really what this is speaking of. Interesting enough, though, for the climax, we do have the 8 of Cups. So something definitely has to be let go of. Something is definitely being left behind. And I think this 8 of Cups is really almost, I want to say, like you letting go of the fear to be healed. Because like I said, cleansing waters is the theme. Purification activates vibrant life force. Scorpio, you can become attached to your pain. And like, it's like, as a Scorpio, I know this. It's like, you can become attached to your pain. Sometimes it could become, Scorpio's kind of a masochist. The only other sign I will feel is probably a masochist is probably Cancer. Pisces, not really, because they really just don't give a fuck. But, like, Scorpio, you can be a bit of a masochist when it comes to your pain. And it's almost like because you really, really want to transform it. This Eight of Cups is really speaking to, you definitely have to go through some type of emotional let go. For this first half of June. But it's by going through this emotional let go that you're actually going to heal yourself. Like I said, this is cleansing waters. So what I almost see this as is like you letting go of the fear to be healed. You letting go of the fear to actually move past what happened in the past. We have the Three of Wands appearing as the following action. So once you move past this, once you heal, once you dive into those healing waters, and you come out reborn, you're going to be looking out to the horizon. You're going to be looking out over the landscape and be like, ah. You're going to be like, and the winds are going to be flying by you, and your like wings will be outstretched, and you're just going to be like, ah, yes. Look at all this beauty. Look at all of this. Look at the way that the hills caress the river below. Look at the way that the sky touches the top of the mountain. Look at the ways that the clouds roll over the hills. Look at the way that the beautiful flowers begin to bloom. Like that's going to be how you're feeling by the end of June, is that you're going to be looking out at your life and being like, wow, like I have manifested this. I have created this. And, you know, there are definitely things to work on, but there are also definitely things to be grateful for. Like I said, you are going through this great healing period this first half of June, where you really are having to do this deeper let go. And really, it's emotional, it's mental. And, you know, Scorpio, you will be okay. You're a powerful sign. If anyone can do this, it's you, because you really can do that deep, emotional, intense work that a lot of other signs don't want to do. You know, Cancer does it. Pisces just really has to walk into a room and people are healed, just because Pisces is so magical, like if they're like really aware about it. But Scorpio, it's like you definitely have this energy to you where you can deal with these really heavy waters because you're fixed water, right? You can really deal with these icy waters. I really feel like what's happening here is that your heart's kind of thawing out. I think your hearts really begin to thaw out this first half of June, because lately, Scorpio, you've probably been feeling like you want to be of service to humanity and wanting to do more and wanting to express yourself, but you kind of closed yourself off. And this is kind of natural almost. With Jupiter in your sign, it deals with your boundaries and stuff. It deals with, in many ways, these deep depths, you know, because the reason why I say it deals with boundaries is because, like, you know, Scorpio, it rules closed doors. Because it's like secret, it's what's hidden. So it's like sometimes we like to keep things hidden. And with Jupiter in your sign, it's like you're trying to keep things hidden, but Jupiter's wanting to bring them to the light. So you're having to work double time to keep things hidden. The reason why you're trying to keep things hidden is because you have to continue to emotionally examine them so you can heal them. Does that make sense? So you don't really mind dealing with these deeper things, but it's been tough because you've been working double to keep things secret when Jupiter's trying to bring that out right now. I think what's really happening here is really a great healing that just needs to happen for Scorpios. And of course, I can attest to this because my rising is Sag, but it's interesting. You also consider Jupiter's going over the space where Saturn was. And when Saturn went to Scorpio, I remember that transit. Oh no, my goodness, like, I got wrecked. Like, it was a good time, but it was a crazy freaking time. Like, I was challenged spiritually, mentally, like, physically. Oh my gosh, I was challenged. So we have to consider that, you know, while Jupiter is in review period, what is in retrograde, what I call review period, you really are going to be kind of reviewing your emotional boundaries. And you're going to be reviewing in many ways your heart. I feel like your heart is really beginning to thaw out because you definitely can't, Scorpio, you're a very loyal sign, and you're like, when you really love someone or love something, you are a very loyal sign, and you're fixated, and you'll stick to it, and you're stubborn, you know. But it's like, also, if you've been hurt, and even if you forgive the person, you definitely never forget what happened. And this can build up over time. and it can make your heart calloused. It can make it icy. I think your heart, the big first part of June, is going to begin to thaw out and not be as icy. Of course, you can be icy from time to time anyways, just because you're Scorpio, and that's just the energy. But what I really feel like I said, is like you're gonna really start to thaw out and really feel the love again, feel the heart again. I don't even think necessarily if you're a couple that this is the end of a relationship. I think this is really a revitalization with the relationship that you have with yourself. And his death and rebirth is really a death and rebirth that's happening within you, that's really going to allow you to love yourself again, forgive yourself for whatever has happened, forgive others for whatever has happened, and it's going to be a very cleansing, purifying time for you. For the theme, we actually have the Chariot card, which is actually Cancer's card. So this Mercury shifting into Cancer is really huge, because you're really going to start to feel your power again and your strength. You really are going to be wanting to move things forward, and it's like you're kind of definitely are arriving at this point in your life where you are really just like, look, I forgive the past for whatever's happened. I just want to express who I am in this moment, and I just want to be. I just want to, express that power and express that magic, because Scorpio is a very magical sign, but since it's the hidden zone, we can't really show all of our magic. That's why it's expressed through our opposite sign of Taurus, and that's why a lot of it's manifested there. But with Scorpio, since it's hidden, it's taboo, it's secret, a lot of our magic can't really be expressed because it's so powerful and intense, and it's a high vibration, and it's hard for it to integrate into this 3D realm. That's why we have Taurus to kind of balance us out. But you really are going to start to feel that power more again. And since the vibration of the earth is raising, you actually are going to start to become more powerful, Scorpio. I actually skipped a card because... Did I? Yeah, I did. The Three of Wands was the falling action. The Chariot card was the rider. The Page of Swords... Did I already talk about the Page of Swords? The Page of Swords is the resolution. I'm a little all over the place with this reading. I do apologize. The Page of Swords is really just speaking to you, really starting to speak your truth more, and you might be a little bit rash about it. Like I said, Mercury moving into Cancer means that you're really going to be communicating from your ideologies, your philosophies, your ideas. Be careful about other people triggering you. You definitely want to safeguard your emotions and not really be as reactive this first half of the month. Know that you're going through this really deep cleansing period. And if you notice yourself getting triggered by things, know that it's really just you having to kind of work on things emotionally. And don't take things personally, because you're going to be feeling you're going to be feeling into everyone's philosophies and ideas. So people are going to say something to you, and they mean well, but it might trigger you, and you might want to react and say something, but it's like, you just make sure that you kind of think things through, feel things through, and sometimes you don't even have to react. It really just depends on the situation, the person. Maybe it's not really worth it to react. Maybe it's just better to just stay quiet, and just kind of in your own time, just kind of breathe it out and release it to the universe. Whatever it is that you might have said to that person, you just want to make sure that you're not really getting into any unnecessary arguments, and stuff. Not that you're not going to have challenges, because challenges always come up, of course. But at the same time, definitely take time to meditate this first half of the month, and any type of heaviness that you feel, just kind of release it to the universe. And just really ask for that healing. Just ask for that healing. Cleansing waters, go for a swim. Take a very meditative shower. Something like that. Anything with water, drink really good water. Anything that has to do with water, integrate some type of healing into it, and it will really supercharge this first half of the month. And you really are going to feel a lot clearer and a lot lighter by the end of the month. And you're going to be feeling like you really can manifest the life that you really want. That is it for your reading, Scorpio. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. And if you would like a personal reading with me, you can follow the link in the description below to theAquarianAdepts.com. And always remember, my beautiful brothers and sisters, to keep moving forward, to stay focused, and Yahoo! Smile often.